Rumley taking the high side there. We watched him in the same car last year at Hickory win a race up there. Ooh, little contact there. Elton said, I believe I want that spot.
Just ahead of them, Andy Petrie in the good wrench number 3, who is a lap down.
I imagine this camera's going to get to see something here in just a second. They're running awfully close and very aggressive right now.
Well, look at the tire marks on Rumley's car. On that right rear. Now they're going to the outside to try to get past Andy Petrie. Sawyer's right there. Up front, David Green has turned it up and gone after Mike Wallace.
You think he don't have a lot of race car mics? He sat there for so long, and he looked in that mirror and seen that 2-car Ricky Craven coming. You talk about somebody turned it up now. He's going to go right on by for the lead, I believe. He's got a lot of race car there.
Well, I think the Labanis have been a good influence on David Green, because David has learned a lot of patience. And now here's Ricky Craven, who is not going to be very patient.
Wow. I'll tell you what. I guess that would be pretty much out of the window right now. When you have the man that's chasing you with only 56 points differential, they have to do what they have to do, and right now they have to try to get away from each other.
Are either of these guys thinking about points now?
Well, no, I don't think so right now. I believe that Mike Wallace will. See, he's leading that race, and he knows David Green is not going to take any chances. And if you notice, David Green started to pull up beside him, and Mike Wallace just cut him right off. He knows that he won't hit him. Because, you know,
and sure, winning the race is a lot more important to Mike Wallace than it is to David Green.
Mike Wallace cut him off right then.
Trouble, turn 4, around goes Phil Parsons. Slides it to a stop just before the caution flag. And I believe he might have had a little help. Andy Petrie got in the back of Phil, and it brings out our 5th caution at lap 140. Contact between Andy Petrie and Phil Parsons. With Parsons spinning, we're under yellow. Let's stay here for a moment and see when pit road opens if the leaders come in. Let's, David, let's see what happened here.
He definitely got under him and bumped it. No doubt about it.
I'd say.
I thought that was Earnhardt driving that car.
David, that's bad, man. You got to go to Rockingham and see this guy next week.
Oh.
We all do.
Yeah, but I'll be up here.
Good one.
Oh. 5th caution of the day. Now, they'll open pit road next time by. The green flag will be out at the head end of pit road. Glenn, what's going to happen?
Well, Mike, they're all going to come in. The tire rule today is 1 tire per position. Now, this is an ideal caution flag because it comes just about halfway during the race. I have an idea you're going to see them change all 4 tires. That's pretty much what they're going to have to do. You can rest assured that if the first car does it, the rest of them will. But I think that's what we'll see. That's all they get in their caution is one complete change of tires, so I think they'll do it now.
Now, one driver among the top point chasers has already been in the pits. Chad Little took on right side tires at lap 94. These pit stops come at lap 143. Point leader David Green, Mike Wallace, Ricky Craven are in. Let's go back to Glenn.
Both guys bring their cars in. They're pitted side by side. They're going to the right side on each of the cars. Right side's up on David Green's Slim Jim Chevrolet, as it is on Ricky Craven's DuPont. Chad Little is also changing right side tires. So now all the crews are going around to the left side. Looks like Green's got a little bit of an edge right now. His crew's doing just a little bit faster job than what the rest of them are. He's going to get out first, I do believe. He does. David Green pulls away. Good pit stop by his crew. A little trouble on the left rear on Ricky Craven's car. In fact, a lot of trouble. He's down and away. Chad Little comes out.
Under caution at 143 laps. Larry Pearson beat David Green out of pit road. He was the first man away. We'll be right back. Chad Little, let's clear up about his pit stops. You're allowed 1 tire per position, and I said earlier he had changed tires at lap 94, and he did indeed remove the right side tires, but Glenn Jarrett went to their pit and checked. They took the right rear off, changed a spring rubber, and then put the same tire back on, so that does not count against you as a tire change. So he was able to get himself 4 tires just now under this caution. Larry Pearson beat everybody out of the pits to take the lead. Glenn Jarrett?
He did, Mike, because he only changed left side tires that time. They chose not to change right side tires. Now you can see Ryan Pemberton in conversation, heated conversation with the NASCAR official. NASCAR is trying to get him to bring the car back in. There's a piece of metal hanging off the right front of the car where Larry had gotten into a little incident earlier on a restart. They're going to make him come back in and trim that piece of metal off. Now, interestingly enough, he had been running that whole time with that piece of metal there. Maybe NASCAR didn't see it, didn't realize how bad it was until he came in the pit. Here he comes right now. Crew is not happy at all about this turn of events.
Plan to interpret and not to try to second guess the officials, but oftentimes if there's a problem like that, if it's not so bad to affect the under green, they'll say, we want you to fix it the next caution, and that's likely what's happening here. It's a shame because it'll cost Larry Pearson the lead that they worked so hard to get for it. We'll be right back. For the restart, 16 cars on the lead lap. As you ride with Chad Little. And they come up to speed. David Green leads them to the green flag. The point leader with Mike Wallace in second, Ricky Craven in third, Dennis Setzer is fourth, Terry Labonte fifth, and a big stack up that started when Johnny Rumley got sideways in turn 2. Everybody gets away. Little sheet metal dented, but nothing more. And Phil Parsons gets a lap back. There's Rumley and Chad Little battling. Rumley is one lap down. Show you what happened there at turn 1. Watch the yellow car of Rumley in the center of your screen.
Whoa, a little contact there between he and Little.
And that stacked up everybody behind them.
He actually spun out, but I don't know how he straightened it up.
So we stay green. Here's your Stanley mid-race recap coming up as we just passed the halfway point. 4 leaders, 5 lead changes. 42 laps of caution for 5 times. And 8 cars out of the race. Mid-race report brought to you by Stanley Works in New Britain, Connecticut. For over 150 years, helping you improve the value of your home. Well, now Phil Parsons just ahead of David Green. Phil got 1 lap back, and that puts him on the tail end of the lead lap here. And David Green's got to go. He's got Mike Wallace right on his bumper, Ricky Craven right behind.
And just in there, the 59 car, Dennis Setzer, earlier in the race got into a little fracas, but now look at him moving by Ricky Craven on the outside. Dennis Setzer is probably as good a flat track driver as there is anywhere.
Up alongside Craven in the Alliance Training Center's number 59. And here comes Terry Labonte right into the thick of this. Don't count Labonte out of this race. That MW Windows Chevy will be a contender here.
Setzer dropped back there. He could see he wasn't going to make any headway trying to run in behind Phil Parsons there. Boy, they made an adjustment, I guess, on Terry Labonte's car because he's flying right now up through the traffic.
Buddy, I think he was fast the first half of the race. He was just awfully patient.
I feel like he was. I really do.
Now you're something about that.
Who's talking like that? I used to think, whoa, we got old Pearson killed today. We'd be just about ready to lap him. They'd have a caution near the end. Who do you think would end up winning the race?
105 times. There's where your point runners are in this event.
Well, Buddy's pretty sneaky himself now. You can't leave him out.
Well, don't be nice to me just because you're sitting up here. I heard what you said about me.
I mean, Johnny Rumley bounced there. He bounced off the wall and into Dennis Setzer. Now here comes Craven after Phil Parsons, the 99. Now, David, everybody called you the Silver Fox, and they said you won a lot of races by laying back and waiting till the end, but I know you led a bunch, too.
Well, I did, if it's paying money. Like at Charlotte.
At Charlotte, especially.
But a lot of times I was running as hard as I could run, and, of course, they thought I was just laying back because we kept adjusting on the car, and I got better and better.
We've got a picture of Rumley getting in the outside wall coming off turn 4. You see he's out of the groove there. Boy, he hits that wall hard. Dennis Setzer was really lucky.
Yep.
You could see the dust flying. He was out there, and no, you don't ever want to get out there. That's the scenery, that part of the racetrack. That's not usable real estate.
Johnny Rumley lost a lap in the pits under the yellow flag at lap 90. Made several pit stops under caution then. There's a look at Ricky Craven and Terry Labonte. They're currently 3rd and 4th in this race.
You see David Green leading off the corner there. He's not going to give up his lead. I guarantee you right now, he does not want to get back to where everybody's fighting for position. If he can stay out there in that clean air, that's the best place for him to be.
If there's one racetrack in the country where I guess you'd want to be lonely and all by yourself, I think this would be it.
This would have to be it. You know, it seems to me like I've always liked to come to Martinsville, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I hated to run this racetrack because
Really?
you just couldn't run. I didn't feel like you could really race here, you know. And if you could just more or less take it easy and just act like you didn't care, you would start moving up front, you know. And that's what David Green, I believe, is doing right now. He's just more or less taking it easy, and of course, he's just running faster.
Of course, the Wood brothers would always come to Martinsville. It's just up the street from their home and their shops at Stewart, Virginia. But otherwise, David and the Wood brothers ran mostly super speedways. This was the only short track they raced at, was the Woods home track here at Martinsville. Let's check with Glenn.
Well, guys, we were looking at we're clocking David Green's car. He's very, very consistent. Right after that restart, he was running like 20.98, 20.99, 21.01, 21.03. That's a real good pace, and as David Pearson said, it's a real steady, consistent pace. He's not having to hustle the car too awfully hard to do that. He's just sitting out there riding into what is really comfortable to him right now. And as he told us before the race, the car felt really, really good. He doesn't want to have to hold it back. As long as he's out front, he doesn't have to.
Well, Mike, you know from your racing experiences, and David Pearson, you guys can relate to this. When you're out there in the lead like that, you're running the racetrack in your line around the racetrack. Consistency is real easy when you don't have to worry about a car slowing down in front of you or one hitting you from behind. So you run your race when you're out front. You're running
when you're way out front like that?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't know that from my racing experience. I know you do and David does, but no. no.
It's a lot easier to run a race up front than it is back in the pack. Yeah. They just give the black flag to car number 17.
Yeah, Johnny Chapman will pull in. How many years do you think it's been since the last time a Chevy won from the pole on a short track in a Busch race? Use both hands to count, and I'll tell you when we come back. Colin Raps complete. David Green, the pole sitter and Chevrolet driver, leads this race. I couldn't believe it, but Greg Field and our historian swears by it. The last time a Chevy won a Busch race from the pole on a short track was 8.5 years ago. May 1986, Jefferson, Georgia, Darrell Waltrip.
You people out there, that was Greg Fielding that said that. Don't send me hate mail. That wasn't me.
Well, I believe it's fixing to change today. David Green is running.
And since anybody won from the pole here, it's been 16 races. Jimmy Hensley did it in 1987. Well, it could happen today.
See, Kenny Wallace, he's moved into the front fray here now, and he's starting to run well. And he said, would you please tell everybody that I'm going to stay with the team that I'm with right now, the Philmar Racing. We have 3 cars already built. We're going to run a full Winston Cup schedule next year and 12 Busch races.
And that leaves the seat open in Robert Yates' car for either the return of Ernie Irvin or perhaps another driver. Some papers are reporting Dale Jarrett as Robert Yates' choice for 1995. Provided contract details can be worked out. A lot of shuffling going on. We'll update you on that whole Winston Cup silly scene driver picture next week at Rockingham. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
You said something about Dale Jarrett was maybe going to the 28 car. Is that right?
I said it had been reported in some papers, yes.
Oh, Dale who? Dale Jarrett, who's he?